Hey, Inspired Tribe. How's it going? Welcome to the Inspired Livestream. It's so good that you're here. My name is Jean Nolan. This is Kristin Nolan, my wonderful, beautiful wife. She does exist. For those of you who are joining us or have joined us recently, yes, she's not my Vortex wife. She's my real wife. We have a family and real children. So we're excited that you're here, Tribe. Thank you for joining us. It is Thursday, March 25th, 2021, WON. And I can't believe that March is less than a week short of being over. This has been the fastest time period ever. The last year has simply flown. It's been completely crazy. It's flown by. But we're excited that you're here. We're going to dive into a very exciting topic today. But first, let me welcome you all. I saw Alma's here, and welcome. I saw Agnieszka is here. Emma's here. What we want you guys to do as soon as you join, type your name into the live chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And welcome to the Inspired Tribe for everyone who's new or has been, has joined us recently. We're excited that you're here. We are excited that you're with us on this journey. Also, the rules are to be in the Inspired Tribe. It's a really, really powerful rule. Once you watch a live stream, you are automatically a part of the Inspired Tribe. There's nothing that you can do about it. It's a lifelong membership, completely free of charge, and you get to join a very inspired, exciting community. So this is a really, really good thing. And I have not forgotten about our beautiful mantra. We are healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, and we're free. Inspired Tribe. Repeat after me out loud, no matter where you are. If you're sitting somewhere and you have your headphones on, there's people around you, let's get a little weird and say it out loud. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. This is important. We want to infuse our live streams with this beautiful mantra. We've been doing so for 151 times now, 151 live streams. Before we dive into today's topic, make sure you check out that link that's on the top of that live chat section and click the link and join our Telegram channel for your chance to win a t-shirt. We will do some cool things on that Telegram channel. We're just getting it started, but it has an amazing new thing. It's almost like a radio station. It's called voice chat, but it's almost like a little radio station where you can actually kind of call in when we have maybe a podcast, radio, voice chat kind of thing there. So we're going to start this interactive new thing on Telegram really soon. And that's why we want you guys to join Telegram, join the channel. It's completely free. It's a really great app, really cool other channels that are on there. It's really simple to use and no frills, no bullshit. It's really, really fun. So join us on Telegram. Click the link. Next Wednesday, out of all our new subscribers on Telegram, we'll give away one inspired t-shirt. So click the link, join us. Now let's dive into today's topic, which is all about programming. Are you programmed, and could it be that you might not even know it? And what does that even mean? We hear so much about it, and it's interesting because the word is everywhere. We need programs to run our computers. We need programs to run TV stations. TV stations are programs. Programs are everywhere, and everything is programmed. Your phone's programmed. Your oven is programmed. Your microwave is programmed. Your car is programmed. Everything is running programs, and we are always associating this word with just something technical. It's we look at a technical device and say, well, it's running a program, right? And sometimes when we go to the theater or when we go to an event, there's a program. There's what you call almost like a menu where you see what is going to happen. But what does this word mean? And why is it important for our human experience and for our own lives? And are we programmed? If we are programmed, who programmed us? And if someone programmed us, why did they program us? And what is the program that's running? This is a really important question. This is basically what we have been exploring for the last 15, 20 years is what programs are we running, and are they benefiting us? Are they serving us, or are they not? And so I want to read to you a few definitions of the word program. Okay, so, it derives from the Latin, it's both, it has a Latin origin and a Greek origin, but I'm going to read to you what all it means. So one definition is a brief, usually printed outline of the order to be followed of the features to be presented and the persons participating. So it could also mean a sequence of coded instructions that can be inserted into a mechanism. This one, really, really, I want you to really listen to this one. This is really, really important. A sequence of coded instructions that can be inserted into a mechanism. And then we also have a complete plan for solving a problem by the use of a mechanism that includes both instructions to be inserted into the mechanism and plans for human activities such as interpreting output. And so this is where we really want to dive into. This is the most important aspect of what this word means, a sequence of coded instructions that can be inserted into a mechanism. Now, this is where it gets good. Let's start with what the mechanism is. So mechanism is everything that functions. It doesn't matter whether it's organic, biological, or whether it's artificial, whether it's a computer or a robot. A mechanism is everything that functions in a particular order and has the ability to function. So we could say that we are humans, we are mechanisms. We function in a particular order. Now, if we function in a particular order, then there is a program that's running. And some of these programs are really beneficial, right? They run subconsciously. The way our body functions, the way our digestion, whatever makes our fingernails grow and our hair grow, and whatever causes, the constant rejuvenating of cells, all of that, these are good programs that are running. And at some point, our body we were programmed to do that. And that's all good. That serves us. But the programs that we're talking about are the mind programs that are running your life, what you believe, and we're going to get into the specifics today because there are programs that are so deeply chiseled into your subconscious mind that some of those you never realize they're running. And Kristin has begun to explore this on a deep level with our iMembership call, which happens to be at this point all women. And so she's discovering with them something she calls feminine divinity. And part of that program, it's not really a program. Part of that discovery is to realize what programs these women, because they're all women, are running. But we want to, of course, expand this conversation today to everyone, to men and women, and to realize that we are, as a society, we're running programs. As individuals, we're running programs. And also as men and women, we're running certain programs. And we don't realize that. And why this is so important is because you are here and you're on your life's journey and you're doing these things and you're working on yourself because you want change. You want something more. You feel there's more. You wouldn't be on the Inspire channel. You wouldn't have subscribed. You wouldn't have shown up for a live stream if you didn't feel that there was something more, that there was something greater, there was something grander, that there's something that is beyond what you've ever experienced before that is possible for you. That's why you're here. That's the only reason why you're here. I know this to be true. And for that to happen, for you to really unlock that hidden feature inside of you, you need to first become aware of what's running you. And yes, you heard that right. That's running you. Programs are running you. There's only very few programs that you have put there yourself consciously. Most were put there by other people, by media, by TV, by teachers, by parents. Now, a lot of it on their part wasn't even conscious either. Some of it was very conscious. Some of it was very deliberate. But what your parents taught you, a lot of it was very non-deliberate. It was just something they were taught and they passed it on without even understanding that they were passing on a program. They simply repeated something that was important to them because they heard it often enough. And so you heard it often enough. Now it's running you. But we want to go a little deeper. We want to go into kind of more archaic structure here today. And specifically into the programs that are running men and that are running women. Where do these come from? Where do our ideas come from as to what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman? And how often have we asked ourselves, what does that really mean? I'm going to give you my perspective as a man now. How often, growing up have I asked myself, what does it mean to be a man? I probably have done it through kind of coded thoughts. I probably thought, well, what kind of behavior, what kind of actions would please men in my life that I look up to? Whether that was my dad or whether that was another man in my life that I thought was important and I valued their opinion. So by that thought alone, you can see and you can realize that it was never, I didn't ask myself, as a man, as a divine man that I was, created as such. What is my purpose as a man? What do I bring to this planet specifically as a man in my role as I'm here? I was asking myself, how do I please the men in my life that I look up to? Do I do it by copying their behavior? Do I do it by doing things I know they will like? Do I do it by doing things I know they expect of me? And the same, of course, if you are a woman, ask yourself, who were you copying growing up? Who were you modeling? Who were you wanting to please? Because if you can answer that question, chances are that's where you'll find the source of a lot of those programs. And so as when we were growing up, we always want to be loved. We always want to please those that we look up to. And so what we do, we then disconnect so often from who we really are. That would be the time where we would find out who we really are, connect with that. But instead of doing that, we start to copy the people around us that we look up to because we want to please them, because we want to be loved. And that's where the cycle begins. And this is a cycle that keeps on going throughout our whole lives. Then we begin, who else are we going to please? Now, if you are and I don't mean this in a judgmental way, but a lot of women in a lot of cultures around the planet were taught that it is their most important role to please the men that they are with, or the men in their families, and to be almost a servant to them. And that was a role that's very important. I'm not saying this in a judgmental way. I'm saying this as an observation. And we as men so often, we were taught almost a disconnected, almost now a macho way before, how to be uber strong and be, always confident, never show feelings, never show emotions, and never be soft, always kind of be the hard, I can deal with everything myself kind of type. And these stereotypes have been deeply chiseled into our subconscious minds and are now being, we simply just are projecting it to the next generations. And we're doing that. And they're growing up with programs on their own that don't necessarily serve them. Now, the purpose here is not to say everything in these programs is bad or everything in these programs is good. The purpose is for you to become aware that they are there and for you to find ways to question which ones do you love, which ones serve you. And you have to be aware of something. The way we live as a society today, most of us, if you are not really out in the country somewhere disconnected from society and being in nature all the time, you're running more programs than you're aware of. The more you're out in nature, the more you harmonize with the natural ways of things. Because in nature, your program that works in a city doesn't work at all. People experience that all the time. People that are really doing well in New York City and they know how to run the city and they know how to run the system and they know how to get what they want. As soon as they're like out there for a camping weekend, none of those programs work because there's no one to bribe. There's no service to buy. You can't, your influence, your status, your whatever people think of you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you're out there camping in the woods. Completely different qualities are needed. A more natural approach to things is needed. And those programs that work so well in the cities don't work out in the country. They don't work in nature. So you see what I'm saying is that within human society, within these structures, we are running programs whether we know it or not. And the question now is, how do we become aware? And how do we change that? Because the idea is not to just replace one program with another program. The idea is to become a conscious experiencer and creator in your present reality. And that's a completely different thing. So the first step is to allow yourself to realize that even the beliefs that you've been holding for what seems to be all your life, even they might not be serving you. Even something that you have repeated a million times to your family, to your friends, to your children, might not be something that's serving you. And if you realize that, the moment that you realize it is the moment that you have to change it. Because if you realize it and still keep going forward, just because you've been doing it all your life, that's where pain, suffering, illness, and all of that will come into play. Because as soon as you're aware of something, it's a spiritual principle. As soon as you're aware and it doesn't serve you, you have to change it. If you don't, there's going to be an instant karmic, almost, if you want to use the word, a karmic payback. That's when you're going against the universal laws. So as men and women that we walk on this planet, we have spiritual roles. We have very physical roles. As you can see, men and women are created differently. Their appearance is different. Their physical composure in some ways is different. And we're now running a program where we're completely ignoring that fact. We're completely ignoring that we are different. We are not different in terms of being equally valid and important and having equal rights and having all of that is completely normal, natural. What isn't natural is to think that we are the same. And so there's a wonderful, I can't even say it's a rule, but it is a saying that a lot of native cultures, a lot of Indian Americans here had different tribes, what the role of a man and the role of a woman is. And it's by no means complete, but it's beautiful. And so they say the role of a woman is to lead a man to his soul. And the role of a man is to protect a woman as she walks on this earth. And as you can see, there's a very clear, a very nuanced observation of these roles. And it's a beautiful thing. In my life experience, this has turned out to be very true in many ways. It doesn't mean that that's complete. It doesn't mean that that is entailing everything, but it shows that through thousands and thousands of years, through many cultures, there has always been a belief, there has always been a knowing that the roles are different in our physical manifestations, that a man and a woman have different roles in this life as they walk the earth. And I believe that to be very true from my own experience. There are certain qualities that I mainly find in women and certain qualities that I mainly find in men. Even those that are completely connected and have realized these programs, they still inherently express and show certain qualities that are very specific to that gender. And we believe that we have come so far in our journey to be equal that it's now time to embrace those differences too, and to celebrate that we have diversity, to celebrate that we have unique roles, that we have unique programs, and that we can deprogram all those that don't serve us anymore. And within our society, we have created these programs that are very, very detrimental to our health, to our well-being, to our spiritual well-being, to our physical well-being. And it's time for us to go and observe and really analyze that. And this is something that most people don't want to do, because it literally means that you go on a journey. And this has been for Kristin and I would say it probably started some 12, 15 years ago, and it lasted for a very long time. And now it's not as intense anymore because we have deprogrammed so much and recalibrated so much, but we still do this. We still declutter. We still go and observe. But for years back in the day, we would question every little aspect. We would drive our families crazy. We would drive our friends crazy because we weren't accepting any of those programs just on face value. Just at face value, we didn't do that. We went and questioned everything. Why are we doing what we're doing? Because look at your daily life. Look at what happens from 6 a.m. to 10 or 11 p.m. and ask yourself, how many of those decisions have you made? When did you consciously think about and say, yes, this is something that's beneficial to me. This is something that I have chosen to do because I know it serves me and those around me. Most of the things that we do, we've simply learned from others, and we've never questioned them, because at the time we learned from others, we didn't have that natural ability to question things in the way we do as adults. From age 0 to about age 7, maybe sometimes age 8, children don't question in the way adults do, because they are special, especially from trusted people, their parents, their grandparents. They simply absorb like a sponge, and they accept the truths that they're being told, whether they're true or not, because that's just how, that's the level in their, that's how deep in the subconscious state children are at that age. It's that deep level. It's like almost a dream state, a fairy tale state that the children are in, so they just absorb. So the problem is, as you walk through life, that your reasoning mind, what it is saying, doesn't necessarily communicate with the beliefs that are down here and the programs that are running. But how do we do that? It is really a journey of questioning, of asking yourself, maybe you're realizing that, you have had a back pain for 10 years. Maybe you've struggled with that, and ask yourself, how are you living? What are you eating? How are you sitting? What are you doing that might contribute to that? And is that a program that you've been taught, or is that something that you've decided for yourself? For example, a completely different example, we have completely re-examined our financial lives at that time, 10, 12, 15 years ago, as we realized what the financial system really is, how money really works, how all that really works. We make completely different decisions. We eliminated all debt in our lives completely, went out of that completely, and have made different choices because we have not bought into the program. The societal programs are very well defined, and because they're so well defined and because they're so complexly structured, you get so much input that you don't even realize you're choosing a part of that program. And the same works. For example, you might flip through the TV stations at night, and some of you might be still watching the nightly news, and you believe because you have 6, 7, 8 different stations that you have a choice. You don't. It's the same program being expressed in a little, tiny little different ways, maybe different flavors, but it's the same program. The major message is always the same, and the fear factor and all of these things are always the same. Now, going back to those roles that we talked about earlier as men and women, how do we go about that? How do we discover that? One of the things, first and foremost, is to be really inquisitive with yourself, with your life. Look at the things that serve you really well, because there you'll see some beneficial programs. And look at those things that you really don't like in your life and see why they are the way they are. And there's one thing too. I believe we have a purpose as spiritual beings, regardless of our gender. And I believe we have a purpose, like I said before, as men and as women on this planet. Now, if we don't live up to that purpose, we feel a disconnection. If we don't really discover that, we feel a disconnection. And today we are running these programs that are destructive. One of those things is, for example, that as a man, you are wired, you're biologically, physiologically wired to be a father. But how many fathers are absent, are not there, are not fulfilling that role, are running programs that are based on societal expectations and completely forgetting about their natural role as a father? Not a parent, a father. A father has a very specific set of roles in a life. A mother has too. We can't replace that. We can't simply erase that. We can't say a parent is a parent, regardless if they're a father or a mother. No, it's not true. Every being has a specific purpose. A father has a specific purpose. A mother has a specific purpose. And these natural roles are being now replaced for societal programs. As Christina's just had a conversation. Today, as a mother who decides to be with their children and decides to raise her children, you are being almost shunned by society. Society looks at you as if there's something wrong with you because you don't want to leave your children with other people and go to a place of work and maybe go to an office and work because you want to stay with them. But this is a natural intuitive instinct that a lot of women have and want to live like that and want to express like that. How beautiful is it that so many are experiencing this on a deep natural level? And so, as you can see, these programs are becoming very destructive also for our families. They're becoming destructive for relationships. A man and a woman have a beautiful symbiotic, and in the if it's in the best way, it builds a 100% unity, a beautiful, almost indescribable unity. But we don't have cultures in front of us anymore that we can learn from. There have been cultures in the past, and we always come back to the beautiful Ringing Cedar books. The link is in the description. We encourage each and every one of our tribe members to read those books, to learn more about these beautiful roles as men and women and parents and fathers and mothers and men and women in relationships too. And it is really up to us to defy and to transcend these societal roles and to look for a deeper connection, to look for role models from past cultures, maybe role models from maybe there are some cultures that are even present today that live that in a more natural and more spiritual way. But if we don't discover who we really are and transcend these programs, we will constantly be run, and we will be run by a force outside of us that doesn't care about our purpose, doesn't care about what we desire, doesn't care about what our natural intuitive desires and wishes are. These forces are very self-serving, and you're not part of that equation. And that's why we need to become aware. We need to become very conscious about our daily lives, about what happens from midnight to midnight every single day. You need to become the decoder. That's the first step. It's kind of like when you analyze a computer and you want to realize what's wrong with it or how it runs, you need to decode the whole thing. You need to realize what is the source code, how is it running, how is it working, where does it apply, how does it come into play? Has somebody hacked the system? Because this is what's been happening to humans. Our systems have been hacked, and we now need to realize where they were hacked, and then remove that ability and move into our own ability to create new, better, beautiful, serving, expansive programs for our lives and the lives of our families. Because if we don't do that, again, we're going, continue to be run by other forces that are going to hack us in even better ways and going to infuse their programs in even stronger ways. And that is not beneficial for families, for communities, for countries, for men, for women, for children, for no one. So this is where all of this comes into play. And a lot of what we do, a lot of our work is really first and foremost the realization that there are programs. And this is the hardest thing for people to do, because it means that once they realize it, that it's not something that's authentic and true, it's almost this, oh my God, I've been living a lie. Oh my God, for how long have I believed this? Have I been doing this? And it's not real or authentic or true. But it's never about blame or guilt. It's never about pointing fingers. It's always about empowerment, because the minute you become aware, you can change it. And here's something too. When you are aware and you don't change it, that's a decision to create more of the same in your life. If you are aware of the programs, but you're simply too lazy, you don't want to put in the work to change them, that's a decision too, and that those programs are going to run you. But what we believe, and one of the most important things that we believe needs to happen in our societies, in our communities, is for beautiful humans to live their natural divinity again, for women to discover their true divinity as divine feminine beings that have something so unique to bring to this planet. And in our quest to make everything the same, we're overlooking that. We're overlooking the fact that a woman has such a specific, beautiful, unique purpose to bring to the planet in her own magical and divine way. And the same is true for men. Men have been stereotyped into these almost, for a long time, simply there's only one way, that's my way, and that way is going to be pushed through with violence if necessary. And the violent way has been the way of the male energy on the planet for a very long time. We need to become more centered again and remind ourselves and find beautiful role models from evolved cultures to realize who we really are and what our true strength is. And you need to also know one thing: these programs can only be run on those who are unaware. Once you become aware, it cannot run you anymore, and you become, once again, the one who's in charge. But it's a decision, and we've been saying this in many different ways over a long time. It's a decision that you have to make. And these programs, they're so perfectly constructed. They come to you in all shapes, forms, sizes, and ways. It's through other people that have been programmed before. It's through TV, it's through the internet, it's through videos, it's through books, it's through teachers, school, universities, employers, billboards, magazines, newspapers. These programs are perfectly constructed to keep you in this loop. So you have to become stronger than that. You have to become grander than that. And you have to make a decision that you want to be the divine being that you were meant to be from the get-go. And realize that it's okay. We all have been run for a while. Some of us longer, some of us not so long, but there comes a point where your awareness brings about change, and that point might be today. And we just encourage you to be brave enough. No matter, we always say this, whether you're 18 or 85, it doesn't matter. Be brave enough to listen to that inner voice, to listen to that guidance, and to maybe allow yourself to even start fresh, to even start over. Because what Kristin and I have done, we have gone so far as to question all the materials. Why is a glass made out of glass? Who decided that that's the best container to hold liquids? To go and say, why is everyone told that, above a certain age, they all need medication? Why do people have 17 TVs in every room? Why, are people taught that, as soon as possible, they need to get into a debt situation and buy a house and get a mortgage? And why do they make car payments? And there are a gazillion things. Why are these specific foods being put in front of you all the time if none of what is in those foods is beneficial to you and your health? Why are we using plastic all the time? Why are our houses wired the way they are wired? Why are people putting smart meters on their homes? There's so many questions that you could ask. Why is there fluoride in our tap water? There's a trillion questions. And to ask those questions is to question the program. And to question the program is the first step to changing it for yourself. You are then opening the Pandora's box, but you're also opening the possibility for a completely new life. And you will see that you won't get to all the answers right away. But on that journey, you will realize that there's been something very deliberate happening, and that there's a reason why there are so few real women and real men out there that are authentically living their divinity, their feminine divinity, their masculine divinity, why we have toxic masculinity being out there pushed on people as if it is a crime to be a man. All of those things have a reason and a purpose. It's a program. And we are encouraging you, inspiring you to question those things, to go deep and see why, and realize nothing is happening by accident. Nothing is just happening because everything has a purpose and a reason. And we are the generation, we are the generation now that is, I would say, at the peak of our mental, physical, spiritual abilities, it is our job, it is our purpose to question all of that and to restore a more spiritual, natural order, and to go to a life and a way of living and a way of being that will be beneficial to all of humanity, to the whole planet, to the whole universe. And we can't do that unless we begin to become aware and conscious of these things that we've been talking about, these programs. And once again, this is the number one thing that happens is when people walk into our door, when they work with us, what we do is we question with them. First, we question them, and then we question with them what they believe, what they think, where is it coming from, why? That's so many important questions you need to ask yourself. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I doing it the way that I'm doing it? I mean, go with something simple. Let's say that you've been experiencing irritations or a rash on your skin, and it's been coming up for years all over your body, sometimes on your back, sometimes on your skin. Have you ever bothered to question what materials you're wearing? Have you ever thought about that those materials were never intended to be in touch with your skin? Or have you checked what is in your detergent, in your laundry detergent? What's in there? What chemicals are you as a human being reacting to that? All those things, all questions that you're going to have to ask. And chances are, if you begin today, a year, 2 years from now, your life will have completely changed because you will have realized that so many programs that were running you before are now beneficial, and you don't want those programs anymore. You will become, in society's eyes, a misfit, a rebel, and all those things that we take as compliments today. We believe that's a very powerful thing to be, especially if you know how to be it. But you will be called those things because one of the things we heard over and over and over again that Christina and I have been told is, can't you just do things the normal way like everyone else? We've been asked this question over and over again. Why do you always have to be different? And it is not because we're making it a point to be different. It's simply because we have questioned all the aspects of living and of doing things. And I don't want to get wasted on my birthday because I see no joy in doing that. It is a program. It doesn't make any sense to go out and get drunk the night before you get married, before you're going to create one of the most important rituals in your life, before you're going to step into the union with the loving being, your soulmate. Who would want to get totally wasted a couple hours before that? It doesn't make any sense. All these stupid programs that run us don't make sense, but we need to be able to question them. We need to be able to realize that they're there. And you will explore. You will realize no matter who you are, no matter where you are, you need to know something. And I don't mean this in a blasphemic way and in some sort of disrespectful way. You are a god and you are a goddess because you have that creator spark in you. But if you're not living that way, it's because there are programs that you've bought into and that you've simply followed along with that are overriding your natural program, which is to be a divine creator. And I want you to know that you are that. You really are that. And that spark is within each and every one of us. So now it's simply a matter of, are we doing it or not? Are we going down that route or not? And we've been saying this. As satisfying and beautiful and expansive and life-changing as it isn't always easy. Because first, you are the one that's questioning, what am I doing here? Why am I changing my whole life? And then the people around you are going to do that. And they don't want you to change the least bit because they're used to who you are and they know how to deal with you. If you change now, they would have to get used to something new. They don't want that. People don't necessarily like change. So you have to realize this is the brave journey of the bold ones. This is why we called our live stream number 150 that fortune favors the bold. And this is how this will pan out and play out and work out. And I know some of these things, even that I mentioned today, they might trigger something within you. And you might think, what's he talking about? Why is he like pointing this or that out? I did get wasted before my wedding or whatnot. It is not to judge or criticize you. It is to make you think. It is to make you question. because you cannot change what you're not aware of, and you cannot become aware of something unless you question it. That's the natural way of things. And so we encourage you to do that. Question every ritual, question every recipe. Question. Ask questions. Don't just go along with it. Don't just accept it as a natural reality. None of those things are natural. They're just societal rules and rituals that were created, and at least we should know who created them and for what purpose. And that's the way we need to live 24/7 with purpose. Every hour, every minute needs to have purpose. If it doesn't have purpose, if it doesn't have direction, if it doesn't have meaning, it is of no value to you in your life. If you do things just because you do them and there's no purpose, you are wasting your life's energy, your creative energy, and you are missing out on the beautiful opportunities and the beautiful life that you could be living. So start today and question even your decision to come on here. Why are you coming on here? Why did you join the Inspired Livestream? Why did you join the Inspired Tribe? What is it? Is it beneficial to you? Does it empower you? Does it give you joy? Does it bring you inspiration? Does it make you think? Does it make you question? Or not? Do you feel like you're being manipulated? Ask, question. If we're as authentic as we say we are, we will survive that questioning process. We will be fine. We will come out. If we are not authentic, we will get lost in your life through the questioning process. So be it. We want you to question it all. We want you to question everything. Inspire Tribe. This has been like a 45-minute soapbox today, but we believe this is very important. And I want to close with really explore what it means to be a woman, what it means to be a man. Look beyond current cultural imprints. Look beyond what the media says, what shallow pop stars or actors say. Look beyond the virtue signaling and ask yourself, as a woman, as a man, in this lifetime, in this specific physical manifestation, what qualities do I bring to this life experience? How do I want to express myself? How do I want to live? What do I want to experience? And what is my true inner authentic desire? What is it really? What is it really? Maybe I've never allowed myself to hear that voice. Maybe I always needed to please someone. What's happening here? You don't have to have that answer right away, but begin asking the question. Tribe. Thank you for joining us today. It's beautiful as always. Please do hit the like button and join our Telegram channel. We're going to start doing, as soon as we have a little more following on Telegram, we're going to start doing some cool things there, some new things there. It's going to be even more interactive where you will be able to actually call in and ask a question and everyone can hear you. And then we can have, it's going to be really cool and interactive. And we're just working on these new options, but please join our Telegram channel. Just click the link in the pinned comment, and as soon as you join us, you'll also be entered for your chance to win an Inspired t-shirt next week. And for now, as Abraham says, we love this phrase, we remain forever incomplete. There's always something more. But for now, for this week, this has been our last live stream for this week. We will be back on Monday, 2 p.m. Central Standard right here. And if you are inspired, if you want to learn more, if you have questions, send us an email or visit our website, inspiredchannel.net. Just browse around, see what you can find, see what speaks to you. And we love to have you in this beautiful tribe. And please connect with the other tribe members. They're awesome people, wonderful people. And it's a beautiful, expansive journey together. Tribe, thank you so much. We love you. And we'll see you again in a couple of days. Be blessed.